Caitlin Clark just schooled the WNBPA on how negotiations actually work. The union's been doing the exact opposite for months. And with the season at risk and a 2-day deadline looming, what she said might be the only thing that saves the 2026 season.
Fever guard Caitlin Clark said, "This is how business is. You look at each other in the eye, you shake hands, you respect both sides. For me, that's what I would love to see."
That's it. That's the entire negotiation strategy. Not complex, not theatrical. Just, look them in the eye, shake hands. The union's been doing literally everything except this for the past month. So what exactly has the union been sending instead? Counterproposals so weak they're basically insulting everyone's intelligence. And when you see what they actually asked for, you'll understand why the league hasn't moved an inch in 12 months. The union sent a counterproposal Friday night. One proposal. After weeks of negotiations. And the concession? They dropped their revenue share demand from 26% to 25%. 1%. That's not a compromise. That's theater designed to make it look like they're negotiating before they strike.
If you're just sending another 1% drop, then you're bullshitting and you're stalling. He's not wrong. He's not right until you start knocking 4 or 5% off your demands, where there could be a little wiggle room for the WNBA owners to be like, okay, F it, we'll give you another percent. We'll go from 15 to 16. Okay, let's get this deal done. Until they start dropping the revenue amount significantly, I'm not going to give you credit if your new proposal is, oh, we're asking for 25% instead of 26%. Nah, shut the bleep up and sit down. That's not a counter. That's not a counter. That's more BS.
The union's entire negotiation strategy has been built on a fantasy. Here's why. The league has been crystal clear for a full year that revenue sharing is completely off the table. The union knows this. They've known it for months, yet they keep sending proposals that ignore this reality entirely. They're not negotiating with the owners. They're negotiating against themselves. Think about what that means. The WNBPA leadership walks into a room. They know the league won't budge on revenue sharing. They've heard it 1,000 times. The GMs have said it. The league office has said it. The owners have said it. And yet, the union's response is to send another proposal asking for the exact same thing they asked for last time, just slightly lower. It's like they're hoping that if they ask enough times, the answer will magically change. But it won't. And that's when the real problem became impossible to ignore. Briana Stewart, the union's vice president, even admitted the strategy was failing. At USA basketball camp, she said, "We need to get this done. We need to find the right numbers." But the numbers the union is asking for, they're based on a league structure that doesn't exist.
The league has told you revenue sharing is off the table. They've been saying that for a year. I mean, at this point, the players are negotiating against themselves. The league has been crystal ass clear, spring water clear, smart water clear.
Here's the brutal reality nobody in the union leadership seems willing to accept. The WNBA owners are not going to voluntarily give up revenue sharing. Not in this negotiation. Not in the next one. Not ever, unless they're forced to by federal law or an economic catastrophe that makes it necessary. The league has made its position unmovable. They've said it publicly. They've said it privately. They've said it so many times that repeating it again feels insulting. Yet the union keeps acting shocked that the league isn't budging. They keep sending proposals that essentially ignore the league's stated position. They keep treating this negotiation like it's happening in a vacuum, where their demands are the only thing that matters. The WNBA GMs have already said they won't sleep for a month to get this done. They're prepared. The league is prepared. The only side that seems confused about what's actually negotiable is the union. And that confusion is costing them credibility, momentum, and most importantly, time. Think about what just happened. A 24-year-old rookie, the biggest star in women's sports, the reason anyone cares about the WNBA right now, just said the thing that should have been obvious from day one. Look them in the eye, shake hands, respect both sides. Done. But the union's leadership, they're still stuck in activist mode, still sending fake proposals, still pretending the league will suddenly care about revenue sharing when they've said 1,000 times they won't. Why? Because they need to look tough. They need to look like they're fighting. They need to justify their positions to their base. They need to tell their members that they're out there swinging, that they're not backing down, that they're holding the line. But the season is at risk. The deadline is in 2 days. And Caitlin Clark, the person who matters most to this league's future, is the only one talking sense.
Briana Stewart looked like she was in a hostage video, and you're having to be like, yeah, we'll strike. If we got to strike, by God, we'll strike.
That's not confidence. That's desperation dressed up as principle. That's someone who knows they're losing the argument but can't figure out how to exit gracefully. The union painted itself into a corner by making revenue sharing the centerpiece of their demands, then refusing to accept that the league would never give it up. But here's what happened next. Briana Stewart actually agreed with Clark. I think it would be great for all of us to sit in a room until we get it done, she said. If that means sitting there for hours and hours, let's do it. That's not activist language. That's not hardline rhetoric. That's surrender language. That's someone realizing the old playbook doesn't work anymore. The union's messaging is fracturing in real time. Their own vice president is echoing Clark's pragmatism. The deadline is 48 hours away. The season is on the line, and the only voice that sounds like it actually understands what needs to happen is the voice of a 24-year-old who wasn't even supposed to be in this negotiation. That tells you everything you need to know about who's actually in control right now. It's not the union's elected leadership. It's not the league's ownership. It's Caitlin Clark. She walked into this situation, said something obvious that everyone else was too invested in their positions to say, and suddenly the entire dynamic shifted. She didn't propose a new deal. She didn't offer a compromise. She just said, look them in the eye, shake hands, respect both sides. And the moment she said it, everyone realized that's what should have been happening all along. The union will either accept reality in the next 48 hours and get a deal done, or they'll strike and tank the season. But here's what matters. Caitlin Clark has already won this fight. She's the voice the league listens to. She's the voice the players are starting to listen to. She's the voice that matters. The union's old playbook is dead, and everyone knows it. If the union strikes, it won't be because they couldn't get a deal. It won't be because the league was unreasonable. It will be because they couldn't accept that a 24-year-old just showed them how to actually negotiate. And that's a loss they won't recover from. The 2026 season is hanging in the balance. But the real story isn't about money or revenue sharing or contract terms. It's about who gets to define what this league becomes. And Caitlin Clark just made it clear. It's not going to be the people stuck in the old way of doing things. Subscribe for the update when this deadline hits. Because Caitlin Clark didn't just expose the union's strategy, she replaced it.